Okay, today is Tuesday, July 21st, 2020, and if you haven't been up on what's happening in Portland, the Department of Homeland Security has been present and very present in dealing with, I want to be careful with language here, dealing with people in the streets or people in public, I'll say, to just give an overarching term. And there's been a lot of people being pulled into vans, unmarked vans, and then taken to undisclosed locations. There's been a lot of protesters that have been arrested, and when you even see like the videos of naked Athena, you hear the pops of just rubber bullets everywhere. Protesters who have shields and SWAT gear. That's it looks like an entirely different situation than when the National Guard was here in Minneapolis. Looks like an entirely different situation than when SWAT and Minneapolis PD takes to the streets to deal with protesters. My question to you is, I think we all have some idea of how to engage with police. I have some idea now how to deal with the National Guard, or how to engage with the National Guard. The National Guard, when they were here in Minneapolis, they usually just posted up on the street and they sat there with their guns and their outfits and camouflage and just stood the post. They would rush off in the Humvees wherever they were needed. They had the sound cannons on top of the Humvees. I don't think they used that. But the engagement was pretty, I don't know. I mean, they stood there and I would walk by. However, with DHS, what we're seeing is an entirely different animal, where it looks like there's a lot of aggression coming from DHS. And now the president is saying that DHS is going to be sent to Chicago and several other cities as well. And the difference with DHS is that they're saying they don't need any invitations. They just show up and they do whatever they want. My question to you is, how does that make you feel? And then also, how do you plan on engaging if it happens? I know nobody wants to think about the Doomsday scenario that DHS shows up to your street and all of a sudden there's tear gas everywhere and you're getting gassed out of your house and now you're getting shot in the street with rubber bullets, which is where my mind immediately goes, right? It goes to the definitive worst case scenario. And I don't want to be in that situation. However, I mean, we're thinking about it, are we? I mean, I don't want to say we're all thinking about it, but I have, and I'm curious what you think about it. And if, I mean, by the time this video comes out, I'm sure that the scenario will have evolved and changed by the time it comes out in the next few days. However, I'm very curious to hear how people feel about it, because there is something to the militarization of the police, and there is something to just the militarization of any state or city, or just any occupying force in your state or city. And I'm curious how you feel about that moving forward. And do you want to see that happen more often or less often? What would be a scenario where it would call for that? Is it called for in Portland? Personally, I don't believe it is. But it seems like it's starting to escalate, and I don't know where that goes, and I don't know what that means for us. I hope it doesn't mean more people getting taken into unmarked vans and taken off to undisclosed locations. I mean, it sounds terrifying. So yeah, I just have been, we were talking about it at a bar last night, and then I just got going. I had this weird dream last night that everything went haywire, and it was, all of a sudden, there's just lawlessness in the streets, and next thing you know, you're getting taken to a bunker somewhere outside of the metro. But I mean, there's something to be said about the fear tactics, or at least for me, where my mind goes in addressing it and kind of thinking about that. And I'm curious to know what other people think and what other people know and how you feel about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just run-of-the-mill question. How do you feel about, potential military ops showing up in your town? Because that's where we're at now. That's honest to God truth, that's where we're at. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.